Hello all. I thank Pete for organizing this great symposium, and I want to congratulate Tim for becoming a chair of chemistry and biochemistry. I'm sorry I couldn't make it all the way. I would have loved to be with you all, but I just prepared this video just to share my experiences in Tim's lab that has actually shaped my career for good or worse. You have to decide after seeing this. Okay, so let's start. Okay, DTXR to dementia. Why dementia? Just want to tell you guys that my current research is focused on Alzheimer's disease. In a broad sense, is neurodegenerative diseases, including dementia. So now this is just a small video of what has actually taken place since the time I was in Logan's lab, and that has actually caused me or triggered me to go towards dementia research. So just a little bit about dementia. Dementia and Alzheimer's disease particularly is becoming an increasing problem in this country. A lot of people suffer from cognitive disabilities and so on and so forth. You have a emerging monster of a problem in dementia. So we are interested in looking at what's going on in the molecular sense. Now there are some interesting research article was published recently that actually in 2010, last year, that hypothesized a fundamentally unique principle that may be involved in patients with dementia. What is it? It's typically what the author proposes is with age there is a typical widespread synaptic dysfunction that normally leads to cognitive decline with aging, which is all very well known. But what causes a particular dementia of Alzheimer's type is he hypothesized that somewhere during the regular aging process, due to some kind of initiating injury, and that injury can be physical, that injury can be mental, trauma, depression, all kinds of injury, some kind of insult, and that triggers a sort of a microglial activation and inflammatory responses that in turn triggers a change in the state of brain cells. So basic brain networking changes that leads to synaptic dysfunction, neuronal loss in the brain, and this obviously leads to dementia of Alzheimer's type well before the normal aging process. It's a fundamentally unique hypothesis in the sense that it is not proven yet, but it is a possibility, and it is a very interesting possibility. Now keep this in mind, and what I thought, with my what inspired me towards dementia is just not the interesting aspect of research. It's probably because maybe something has happened to me while particularly being in Tim's lab. Now let's just, I thought about it. There are some signs of cognitive disabilities I have. Probably, maybe my wife can tell you more, but it looks something weird. So I kept scratching my head, what was going on? So I saw this article and went back and looked into what could have gone wrong in my life. Is that something, is a possibility? Is there any initiating insult or injury? I couldn't find anything that is so traumatic. But during the period of 2001 to 2004, where I was in Tim's lab, now keep that in perspective. Look at what could be going on here. First, injury. Yes, when I came into Logan's lab, I was struck with depression. Why? When you are a postdoc, when you are a graduate student looking for a postdoc positions, particularly from India, you basically look at websites of how many girl students are in the lab. Believe it or not, I'm telling the truth. You can, Pramod, what I'm talking about. Well, maybe we don't have to have too much information here. But anyway, I think that is typically what goes on, and I wasn't an exception. Yes, I looked at his website. There were 8 female students and postdocs or technicians or whatever listed, and with 2 male personnel. I was so excited. I applied, he accepted, and I came here, and I was about to start my project with this guy. Can you believe that? That was the first strike of depression right there. Okay, unbelievable. Just couldn't really imagine what the hell is going on. Then I had to interact with another guy called Pramod. Sorry, I don't have your picture, Pramod. But you guys, you all know Pramod, and you know what I'm talking about. Depression again. Unbelievable. Okay, so I carry on, and Tim gives me a new undergraduate to work with, and this guy is Ilya Lingold. This guy is a bodybuilder, huge, massive bodybuilder. Oh my God, this is just unbelievable. This happened within 3 months. Okay, so adding insult to the injury, after 3 months, a new guy comes into the lab. A guy from Middle Earth with all kinds of skeletons and stuff. So that was an unbelievable traumatic period in Logan's lab. First off, without even getting into the actual research, depression struck. Alright. Then I thought, what else could be during that period went on wrong? So I happened to be sort of, very interested in NMR when I graduated, because I did some crystallography. I didn't like it. I really thought NMR would be cool, and I don't know why. And I thought NMR was cool at that time, and I really wanted to come to NMR, Tim's lab, and do some NMR. I was so fascinated by the spectrometers. I can climb up the stairs and drop in my sample from the top and things like that. It was a cool thing to do. Again, I don't know why I thought that way. So it was a cool thing for me to do at that time. So I came and asked Tim, so can we do some NMR? He has NMR. Why can't you do something called ITC? I have no idea what ITC was, and probably many of us didn't know. And just an unbelievable kind of instrument that is, it's so finicky. Even if your emotions are caught in the data, and if you breathe hard near the sample, you will have a spike in the computer screen. It's kind of a blip. Each blip is a kind of a data. And worse, Tim wanted me to interpret the data to see how the metal binds and what DTXR behaves or whatever. So the height of the depression was a fallout of this, and Tim made me solve and sort of write insane mathematical equations, some quadratic, some. Yes, I was interested in that at that time. I don't know why. Again, I was pretty interested, but again, it was just unbelievably complex. And I kept thinking, I'm an organic chemist. Why am I doing all these mathematical equations? Well, anyway, but that's what I did. He also gave me a book at that time called Ligand Receptor Energetics. I was so excited to see this book. Honestly, I have no idea why I was excited. Okay, so I was excited, and after looking back after some time, I missed a point in that. Maybe Tim gave me a hint. If you look at closely that book, it clearly says a guide for perplexed. Maybe I just missed that one. Anyway, so that was just too traumatic for me. This has all happened over 2-3 years of time being there, and unbelievable amount of trauma. Finally, Tim used to, give some parties, nice parties at home. It was fun. It was, to be with everybody. It was great. But again, the last but not the least, a big trauma occurred in one of the parties that Tim threw. What happened? One day I met Emily, and she comes in front of me with a big snake around her neck. Oh my God, that was a huge, real brain trauma for me. I lost several hundred hippocampal neurons right there. Okay, so anyway, so that's typically what I think I hypothesized, based on the new emerging theory of cognitive decline, this could have been the most plausible time of my life. Things would have gone wrong, things what I am right now, maybe what I'm going to be. So I was a little panicky. So I thought, I think I should do something, while I'm a scientist, while I remember things, I should start doing something for it. So I kind of, started to explore the fundamental molecular aspects of Alzheimer's disease. That's why I came into this research. And we typically, what we are doing right now is just understanding this amyloid formation of the proteins involved in Alzheimer's disease. Another classic examples of me being dementic is that I'm so excited to start all over a new collaboration with Tim after all this. I'm seriously very excited about it. It's a classic sign of dementia, I know, but I can't help it. This is exciting. And anyway, I don't want to take too much of time. I really apologize for not being there. I would have loved being with you all, to see Tim blush, if he's blushing now already, I don't know. Anyway, I really wanted to congratulate again you, Tim, for becoming a chair. You've done an excellent job, and IMB, we all love you, and I really want to thank you for inspiring me, at least, to be in academia. Believe it or not, that last sentence was sarcasm. If you don't get it, because it sucks to be in academia. Bye.